It had a whole milk jug, like a gallon-sized milk jug, but without milk. It just had some sort of like brown. I would just call it the concoction. I don't know what was in it. It smelled like rubbing alcohol and ether, and I didn't have any. She offered. It's very friendly. I think that was supposed to be my tip, but no, I didn't have any. Hi, I'm Jason Sterling, and today we're going to look at the Carnival Breeze. We're going to do a little bit of a ship tour here. We're going to take a look at the ship itself and what I typically do on a sea day and what I did on this last voyage on the Carnival Breeze. So let's see here. The Carnival Breeze, I actually made a whole list because it is a really large ship. It is around 15 decks high. It has a double occupancy capacity of 3,600 people, but a max occupancy capacity of almost 4,000 people. So max capacity means like the third and fourth berths in a room or the third and fourth places for someone to sleep in a room are all filled up as well. Not every room accommodates 3 or 4 passengers, but enough of them do that it would increase the overall passenger population of the ship to 4,000 people. Now, all of those people need something to do, and there's plenty to do on this ship. There's 11 to 12 bars on the ship, maybe like 12, like a dozen bars on the ship. There's more than a dozen places to eat. You've got shopping, of course, on board, a sundry shop, your typical sort of a little more upscale clothing and wristwatches and jewelry and cologne, sunglasses, things like that. You've got some lower scale options there too for those items in the sundry shop, which has Carnival branded merchandise and souvenirs. Or they do this sort of typical gold by the inch type stuff. I've never done that, but you know what I mean, where they just measure it out off a spool, right? Make a bracelet out of it. They got stuff like that. They're also going to have your natural outdoor things, a couple of pools, midship and on the aft. They've got a water park, of course, miniature golf, a sort of sports deck, where you can go do sports activities, kind of tied into the miniature golf. You've got a spa, you've got a gym, you've got a casino. A lot of stuff going on this ship. And this ship, the Breeze, is actually a little more than 10 years old, but it's still an excellent example of the amenities available on a cruise ship today, even still. 20 odd years ago, more than 20 years ago, the first cruise I took, I would have told people that, cruising, a cruise ship was like a floating hotel. And then it kind of grew and it became more like a floating resort. And in this day and age, of course, a cruise ship is more like a floating resort town. But without the bad parts, without the parts of town that you go to and you get shanked, without those parts of town, just the good parts of the resort town, not the shank parts of the resort town. Which it kind of reminds me, when I was in hair school, actually someone did threaten to shank me once. They said that if they got home and didn't like their haircut, they were going to come back and shank me. I went to hair school in that part of town. So, I have some experience with that, but of course, I was just like, "Dude, you're the one that said you're the one that chose a hair school, not me." And there was a whole group of people came and once chose a hair school for their wedding as well. Your wedding? This is your wedding. You brought your whole wedding party into a hair school. You are setting yourself up for disappointment. Oh my God! I mean, I really. And then there was a chick that came in once who had this is the part of town I was in. It had a whole milk jug, like a gallon-sized milk jug, but without milk. It just had some sort of like brown. I would just call it the concoction. I don't know what was in it. It smelled like rubbing alcohol and ether, and I didn't have any. She offered. It's very friendly. I think that was supposed to be my tip, but no, I didn't have any. But anyway, I digress. It's like a resort town, but without all that. So there's a lot to do and a lot to see. And in my typical day, if I'm going to get up on a cruise ship for a sea day, I'm probably going to get up a little late. Because I was probably up a little late. I'm usually going to seek out some sort of coffee that is going to pretty much include a bit of the hair of the dog that bit me the night before at the aforementioned, sort of nightclub late at night. And after that, I usually will take a quick shower, right? So I can wash the smell of the old cologne off. And then if I'm on the breeze, because I really like the spa area on the breeze, I'm going to go up, check out the thermal suites. I'm going to soak in the thalassotherapy pool for a while. Then I'm going to lay on one of the hot loungers for a while. And then I'm going to go to the sauna and try to sweat out whatever toxins are still left. And then back to my room for another quick shower and get ready for the day. Now, by this point, that probably doesn't sound like much, but I'm telling you, just getting up and getting coffee and then going to the spa. Usually, by that point, I'm going to be looking around thinking, time for brunch. It's probably going to be about, 10:30 or 11. I'm slow on a ship during a sea day. But around 10:30 or 11, I will go to brunch. I almost always have brunch nowadays at the main dining room. It's a different menu from, say, Lido Buffet or the sort of, usually have a little buffet set up on the plaza area to eat. It's different from that. So I'll usually go to the main dining room, have the brunch. And then from there on out, it depends on who I'm with. Now, in this case, I was alone, so I didn't do much in the way of miniature golf, obviously. But I did do a little bit of the water park, and there was this sort of Facebook solo passengers group. So there was a couple of times I kind of hooked up with them. We did do the ropes course as a group, which was a lot of fun. We did the ropes course. We also went to the slides, the water park, and did the slides and stuff. That was another thing we did as a group. So there's stuff like that. A lot of times I'll lay around and read. Somehow, again, all my time seems to just evaporate. On a sea day, I don't know where it goes. I really don't. I wish I could tell you. But doing stuff like that is what I did. Hi, here I am again, one of my favorite spots back here on the back of the ship with the wake, a powerful wake this time. This ship's really moving. We are really churning out the water behind us. There's never anyone back here on the back of the ship. This is on the very back of the ship on deck 5. And there's just couple little benches. There's 2 little benches back here, and I think they've got life preservers in them or something, But great place to sit and hang out. I am just killing time at the moment. I went to the gift shop to get a Christmas ornament for the 50th anniversary. Oh my gosh, the place was like picked clean. It was like a whole bunch of hyenas and a dead animal. It was just a carcass. Just bones. So I'm going to kill a little time here in a little bit. I think I'm going to have a light brunch. I did have some breakfast this morning. Cereal, my favorite. I never get to have it. I sent my son a picture just so he could be mad. But I never get to have cereal at home, so I had 2 bowls of cereal this morning. But I'm going to go up and have a little bit of a little light brunch here in a little bit. And I don't know, take a nap maybe. I got into my room super late last night. I'm a late guy on a cruise ship, and I only got like 6 hours sleep because I forgot to reset my alarm. So when the alarm went off, of course I woke up like normal and then I couldn't fall back to sleep. But it was fine. I got up to the spa early and it was empty when I first got there anyway. It was empty. I was able to enjoy their fantastic thalassotherapy pool for quite a while, and then I did like the heated loungers in the steam room, also excellent. I'm gonna try again later. I hope they restock the 50th anniversary merch. Otherwise, I guess I'll be on eBay later or something like that. Hope you'll be here later and to check in, and I'll be back then. Thanks for watching. And then getting ready for dinner and then having dinner. I think part of the problem with me and sea days is that I stay up so late and then I get up so late. But I'll often go to the trivia. The trivia is really fun, even if you don't want to actually write down the answers. Usually the host for trivia is super funny, so I'll do that. Every so often, even though I'm never going to buy any of this, I don't have room for it, I will actually walk through the sort of art auction area. I do like some of the art. I mean, yeah, it's your typical sort of decorative art type stuff. I don't consider it high art. no matter what they tell you at the auction. And I don't consider it an investment, no matter what they tell you at the auction. But I will walk through it. Some of it is kind of cool. There's always stuff like that to do, or a little shopping. I don't do the casino. I'm not much of a gambler. If there's a movie theater, if it's a Vista, I will catch a movie in IMAX sometimes on that day. And if it's a Vista and I'm going to catch a movie, I'm probably with my son. And I'll do miniature golf. We'll do that a lot. We'll do the arcade, so the video arcade, stuff like that. Now, for me on a C day, the big thing for me is nightlife. I do like to get, I have to get dressed for dinner. I like to go to dinner. Whether it's the main dining room, which this time I did go to the main dining room with some of the Facebook solo groups. I also went on my own. I went to the main dining room on my own for a formal night. I did do that. But I did it with the Facebook solo group a couple of times. I also went to the sushi restaurant this time by myself. That was great for dinner. After dinner, I'm going to usually go to a bar, like the Lobby Bar is a big favorite of mine, or Alchemy. Alchemy is a big favorite of mine. Alchemy especially because there's usually performers there and like musicians. I'm going to check that out. And then once the nightclub finally gets around to opening, and I say finally because I'll tell you what, the number of times I've stood outside that club in line, like it's a real club in a city, instead of like the disco on a cruise ship, waiting for the DJ to show up. I'm like, what? Is he stuck in traffic? We're on a boat. How is he not here? He knows when he's supposed to be here. He should have been here like 10 minutes before this place opened, spinning up the, well, whatever he uses, the computer, firing up the computer, turning on the lights, right? You got the bartenders in there. They were on time, but of course nobody can come in, I guess, because the DJ's out there. I don't know why that is. Anyway, okay, so what can I say? Yes, standing out there waiting like it's a real bar or a real club in a real town, in a real city. But once it gets open, it's always fun. Usually they do retro sets at first, which I do like more than what they follow up with. Mostly because what they follow up with is way too niche market. I like pop dance music, like modern pop dance music, not just retro hits. But they always have a real kind of niche market hip hop type of flavor to it, like real strong, and it's very unfamiliar. So it's not even like sort of the pop hip hop hits, I mean, like you'll hear one song that you kind of recognize and then 10 you don't, right? But I'll hang out there. It's usually a fun place to hang out. It's a great place despite the fact that it's loud. It's amazing how much, you can kind of hang out, talk to people, have discussions. A lot of fun people in there. It's a fun place to hang out. I mean, I like it. It's more my sort of crowd than, say, the casino kind of is, but more than the casino, more than the Lobby Bar. It's just a more fun crowd. So it's usually where you're going to find me until late at night. I mean, I'll try to stretch it out as long as I can stand the music. I'll try to stretch it out. Typically closes at 1, though, which isn't even that late. For as late as I sleep the next day, that's really not that late to be open. At home, of course, usually the clubs here are open till at least 2 a.m., not on the ship 1 a.m., which is kind of a drawback, I think, with Carnival. Hell, you only got one nightclub, Carnival. You can't keep someone in there working, later. Nope. Okay. There used to be the casino you could hang out in, but a lot of the casino bars are closed right now. So that's hard to do. But sometimes I will go to the casino bar after the nightclub closes down. I guess that's why I'm up so late. Typically, thinking on it, is that, I'll go to the casino bar. Casino bar usually has a much more broad-based selection of music. There's usually a pretty good crowd hanging out at the bar, not actually playing casino games, just hanging out there. And they are open typically until 3 a.m. So that's what you'll find me kind of doing is that. And then just kind of passing out. And that's my day. That's my day. Talking about it. How do I not do anything? I'm sitting here. I feel like I got up and I drank and I ate and I drank some more and maybe I slid on the slide and I ate. I bought a T-shirt. And I changed clothes and I had dinner and I drank and I ate and I went to the nightclub and I drank and I danced and then I drank and then I went to bed. That I don't know. That doesn't. I feel like I do more than that. I do on port days, which we'll tackle for the Cosmel video. But that's it. That's what I do. People are like, "What do you do on a cruise?" I'm like, "I don't know. Nothing." Which is what I like. Hang out. rest, relax, lay on a lounge chair, lay in the whirlpool. I will say this, I will spend in the thermal suite a good hour, hour and a half. That is a lot of my morning. There's a lot of my morning. And the nightclub, I'll spend a good 2 to 3 hours there. It's a good part of my evening. I rarely go to the shows. There's a lot of shows at night, production shows. I've seen them all so much in the past, and they haven't changed much in a while. So I rarely go there. I listen to the live music sometimes. That's about it. I rarely go to the comedians, mostly because they're so crowded. It's usually really hard to get in. You have to line up like 45 minutes early, and so I don't do it for that reason. The comedians are good, though. But I almost never go to the comedians for that reason. And I don't know what else is going on. Nothing else at night that I'm going to do. There's movies by the pool. A lot of people do the movies by the pool. Again, I don't. I did go once, and it was good. But yeah, no, typically I'm going to be indoors. Okay, so that's my sea day. That is the Carnival Breeze in a nutshell. As I've been talking here, I have run pictures kind of the different eating locations, some of the outdoor locations, just kind of cycling through here. So you can see what there is available. The MDR, the buffet, the sushi place, the bonsai sushi place. There's the steakhouse, Cocina di Capitano. Those are all upcharges. So is the seafood shack. During the day, though, you do have Cocina di Capitano does have a free lunch menu. You've also got Guy's Burgers, you've got pizza, you've got the Iguana Cantina, you got a deli and a Mongolian Walk, and all sorts of places to eat for free. Tea time in the main dining room. You've got that as well. Some of that we'll cover, though, in the food video. But that's it for kind of our ship tour and a typical sea day for me on Carnival Cruise Lines. Please hit like, subscribe, and notify. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time when we do talk about our port days in Cozumel. There were two days in Cozumel this time, not just one. Very unusual. First time I've ever done that. But we'll talk about port days in Cozumel, port days in general. And I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for watching.